Hello and welcome. This is the Insurance Pro Blog Podcast. I am Brandon Roberts.
And I am Brantley Woodley.
And you are listening to the internet's favorite podcast about truth in life insurance.
Truth in life insurance.
Absolutely. We came with truths today.
All the truths. I mean, look, the internet says this stuff is true, so it must be.
Hey.
That's what we're going with.
Mm-hmm. All right. The truths belong to us. And if you got that reference, you have my salute.
So what are we actually? I don't even know how to frame what we're talking about.
I got a question.
Today.
I got a question for you.
Okay, go for it.
Who should buy whole life insurance?
We've already done that before.
We have?
Yeah, we just did that episode I don't know, 4 months ago.
Well, this time we're doing it with data, so that's different, right?
Well, the question should be who actually owns it.
Yeah, that's a way to reframe it. See, that's how that's how we do the rope-a-dope.
Yeah, leave the should out.
Mm-hmm. Should have practiced that before we threw.
Well, yeah, the who should buy it was our opinion based on years of experience and seeing who it works for and who it doesn't really work for.
Mm-hmm.
This is more statistical and says, well, we're not speculating about who actually owns it because somebody's actually done some research and discovered who actually owns cash value life insurance. And it may not be who you expect. So there's that.
So the attempt today is to shed light on the should question by looking at the who does question.
There you go.
And this is a big, long list of data, which is kind of what we do around here, that really...
The salt on your ears.
Yeah.
We're just going to read lots of numbers.
Make it stop. It really, I think, will paint a wildly different picture than most of us are thinking with respect to who's out there buying whole life insurance and further kind of extending that to maybe who should think about it.
Yeah.
So first, let me just point out a super, super interesting paradox. By the numbers, in terms of ownership, if we look at just how do you own it, do you not own it? Cash value life insurance is at an all-time low.
An all-time low in ownership,
yes,
across the country?
Just percentage of people who own it.
Okay.
Never been lower.
Less than 16% or something like that?
Yep, 16% of Americans are projected to own cash value life insurance.
Well, Dave Ramsey's just dancing a jig back there.
Doing his job and loving the success of it, right? But life insurance sales have never been higher.
How does that work exactly?
Well, it turns out the 16% who do buy it buy bigger policies than the 30-some% who did own it 30 years ago.
I get it. I get what you're saying. The ownership percentage has nothing to do with dollars. It has everything to do with actual families.
Yeah. So it's the just raw number of people who have it has gone down, but those who do have it have more of it on average than has ever been the case in the past. Yeah. So
it could be correlated to the fact that there aren't as many families as there were in the past. But I mean,
it's that.
Not trying to make light of the sort of degradation of that sort of stuff in our world, but it is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
So fewer people are buying more.
They are.
Okay.
In fact, 2025, life insurance premium grew 10% year over year.
That's a lot.
That's
that's
huge.
A lot when you think about the number, the premium. What did that represent? 17.5 billion total.
Yep, it did.
Yeah. That's a lot of money. And that's almost an extra 2 billion from the year before.
So the number of people who have it or
whole life was 6.4 billion of that.
Yeah, it was. You're just now reading the report, right?
That's
holy crap. That's Jesus.
That's almost
if
like
I read this last night, I probably wouldn't have sounded so surprised right now.
Hey, but then the reaction wouldn't be as real. So We're here for authenticity, okay?
That's true. That's how we practice this.
You send me 18 pages worth of stuff. What do you want me to do with it?
It's shorter than last week.
7 pages shorter.
So the concentration here is not to go unnoticed. And look, we have noted from the beginning of the Insurance Pro blog that we do not for a second believe that this is a product for the masses.
No.
That has never been our thing. People ask us, like, why do you use these examples of like $50,000 a year of premium? Why can't you do something that normal people would be able to afford, like $2,500? I gave you the answer before I even asked that question. I mean, that's why.
Oh, I thought it was because we didn't want to sell $2,500 policies.
Well, there's a little bit of that in there too, but it's just like
I'm joking. I'm joking, but I'm not joking. I mean, well,
the problem at that level is that you and I think I can speak for you, believe fundamentally that we're not going to change your life, and there's probably other things that you can do if that's your reality that are going to be more meaningful towards wealth accumulation and financial independence than buying whole life insurance. That's what we think.
We think there's better ways for you to put your $2,500 to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're all for term insurance. We've said that like a million times, and I'll keep hammering because I never want people to just hear one episode and think we're like, no, if you have a super low budget, then you shouldn't buy life insurance. Nope. That's not what we're saying at all. We're saying you should buy the right kind of life insurance.
Yep.
If $2,500 is your total annual budget, then you need to buy as much term insurance as you can afford to buy.
Yes.
And you'll probably have some left over from that $2,500, by the way, that you can use to do something else.
Yep. Now look, there are
That'd
people
be my guess.
There are people who put $2,500 into whole life insurance and they build a little bit of cash doing that, and things are good. I'm not trying to say that that's totally inconceivable, but this data right here that I'm sitting on tells me that this is something that the top 10% wealth-wise of Americans are super duper into, and the rest, the other 90%, not so much.
Yep.
And our experience has always been those are the people who benefit the most from looking at cash value life insurance as a strategy for their wealth building.
It's interesting to have statistical data to back up the things that we kind of knew already, right?
This was a very interesting moment for me to pull all of this and go, everything I kind of thought.
Because we couldn't really prove it before, you know, because we have a decent sample size from well over a decade of doing this, working together on this, but it's a self-selecting sample size. Or self-selecting sample of a certain size. It's a small sample.
It's a small sample. It's small at the end of the day.
Yeah. So hundreds of people is not that, it's not that huge.
Exactly. So we're pulling a lot of data primarily from the Survey of Consumer Finances, which is done by the Chicago Fed.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out they ask questions about life insurance ownership, and they ask lots of other questions, and we can use that data to look at correlations and identify that certain types of people have a much higher tendency to own cash value life insurance than others. So the key ones, people who rank higher in wealth, again, I mentioned the top 10%, are much more like double to almost 2.5 times more likely to own cash value life insurance than everybody else. So big time predictor. Business owners, also in the same category there. Much more likely to own cash value life insurance. And looking at this data and admittedly drawing a few conclusions from the data that we don't have like straight line collected information on, but we can infer some things by the way the makeup kind of shifts of these people. Generally speaking, having been around the financial block a time or 10 creates a much higher likelihood of owning cash value life insurance.
Right.
So the broader your experience with financial activity, whatever it may be, business ownership, taking on debts, varied investments less so, but having a little more experience just with those various business and finance facets does, according to the data, correlate with a much higher likelihood of cash value life insurance ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, validates something that you and I have argued many, many times, which is people who have broader experiences tend to appreciate what cash value life insurance brings to the table a whole lot more.
Yes. Yes.
Largely because their lived experience shows them that there's a really big world out there, and the attributes of cash value life insurance are not to be overlooked.
Right. I think we can even zoom out further.
Sure.
This sort of common thread, again, this is anecdotal data just from hundreds of conversations that you and I have had with people. The people who tend to be interested in cash value life insurance, like significantly, and then the people that continue to fund it and hold on to it, our clients that have done so for years and years now. They tend to be people that don't just hear mainstream financial advice and go, yep, that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning they don't just hear like max out your 401k, save 10%, and buy low cost index funds. Like that's, to me, that's sort of, at least today, right now in 2026, that's the mainstream. Like that's 90% of people. That's kind of how they approach their finances.
Yep.
Accumulate as much money as I can. And most of it's going to be in qualified retirement accounts, 401ks, mostly 403bs, depending on whether you work for a nonprofit or a for-profit institution, doesn't really matter. Taxes work the same way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what 90% of people do. The people who tend to gravitate towards buying cash value life insurance, I don't know why. I can't tell you why this is, but they tend to have a broader view of the world in terms of of finances.
I do have a data point in this research that speculates.
I'll see if I'd read this, I would have known.
According to the research,
in fairness, I got this like 8:00 last night. So no, I'm kidding.
According to research, the people who have a higher identified confidence in their financial sophistication also have a much higher likelihood of owning cash value life insurance.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Well, there's a couple different ways that could cut. Like one is they just obviously didn't interview that many bogleheads. But the other possibility is these are individuals who are a bit more cerebral in their approach to their finances.
They probably have more varied experiences, I would think, in terms of their financial lives. Like they've just had, they've had to deal with certain things or encountered certain things because of their work or whatever.
They dig a little deeper than the superficial "Vu is going to be your savior."
Right.
Kind of stuff.
Right.
And again,
they don't read Kiplinger's as if it's gospel.
Yeah. And anecdotally, that has been our experience. Like the conversations that we have with people who end up buying life insurance. Because remember, we collect data ourselves.
Yep.
And we look at every engagement as an opportunity to collect data. And so whether somebody buys life insurance from us or not doesn't mean it is a lost cause in our world.
Right.
And we know from our personal experiences that as we talk to somebody and the way that they approach the conversation, the sorts of questions that they ask, we can kind of identify who is likely to move forward with a purchase and who's not.
Yep.
Now, we don't give up early. We'll give everybody who comes to us kind of the same presentation of options.
Sure. Of course,
customized to them, but the same general idea. And we have been able to observe based on the way people interact, the way that people approach, the questions that they ask, who's likely to do something and who is unlikely to do something.
Right.
And so to the individual who comes to us basically looking for us to myth bust their worldview. Like, I'm a passive indexed investor with a bunch of money in the VFINX. Tell me I'm wrong and convince me to buy whole life insurance. We don't really move forward with any of those people ever.
It's like the guy, I remember that someone asked me years ago, I don't know if you remember me telling you this, but he said, give me your pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, excuse me? Like, what do you mean? He's like, your sales pitch, like, what's your best sales pitch for why I should do this? I was like, I don't I don't have a sales pitch. We have a website with like 800 articles on it that extol the virtues and the downsides. So the pluses and the minuses. You're free to read those at your leisure. You reached out to us to talk about this. So, I mean, I can tell you what's good about it. I can tell you what's bad about it, but I don't have a pitch.
Nope. I'm thinking of that scene from Boiler Room. I'm going to botch this badly where like some guy cold calls one of the main characters trying to sell him like a magazine or something like that. Yep. And he just sits there and tears apart his sales presentation. And it's like, I didn't call you. I'm not trying to sell magazines. So, you know.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
So, I mean, we have certainly observed that people who come to us looking to buy life insurance, and the ones who typically do, are extremely thoughtful.
Yeah.
In their approach.
Yeah, I hate using the word sophisticated because I don't know. It has a
hoity-toity connotations.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. And that would never be my intention or how I would describe people. But I can often tell when we have initial conversations with people and, you know, they're listening, they ask you questions, and then they give you feedback where they're sort of they're putting in their own words what they understand.
Yep.
Those are the people you can always tell, like they get it. They get it instantly. And they probably said it in a better way, and they probably say it in a way that we couldn't say it necessarily. But yeah, they get
After all these years, we don't say it the best. Still to this day, make statements on the phone with people and go, I need to write that down. But I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I have gone through calls with people about life insurance, especially after we've shown them the initial presentation, like what we call illustrations in the industry. So they're able to actually look at the numbers and sort of get a sense of what's going on. They apologize for all the questions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. That's not how this works. Like, it's fine. But like, it's, you get to ask all the questions. You should ask all the questions. That is the right way to do this.
Yeah. We just proposed that you pay $50,000 a premium for the next 20 years.
Right.
You should ask some questions.
I've never believed in the watch your plane theory.
Right.
So lots of insurance agents are taught, you know, this is my watch. I like my watch, but I have no idea how it works. I just know that it tells time. So that's good enough for me. Never been good enough for me. Shouldn't be good enough for you.
Right.
The other piece to this that I want to get to now, because I want to make sure we have time to address it. So we dug deeply into the risk appetite profile, because this is a very, very eye-opening discovery here. Generally speaking, we talk about cash value life insurance candidates being risk-averse individuals. The heuristic that we've used forever is those who want to hedge, who are more risk-averse, they are the people who buy whole life insurance, for example, because it is a lower risk asset. The data does not support this at all. The risk appetite of your typical cash value life insurance owner is all over the map.
Right.
There's just...
Again, our anecdotal data would support that. We got clients who are on the zero risk at any cost spectrum, and some that are like, this is, you know, the life insurance thing is the most conservative thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Deeply out of the money, zero day calls on SPY. Sure. Here's $100,000. Let's let it ride. That is our experience. They're varied, like very varied. Yeah. And you can argue this in several different directions. Like, obviously there's the appeal to the risk-averse individual to look at this and say, oh, it's guaranteed to go up. It's never going to go down. That hedges some things. I really like that. To the very risk-seeking individual, you mean I can put some money here and then go bonkers elsewhere, and I'm not going to lose the money here in the whole life policy or the index universal life insurance policy. Yep, that's what that means.
I mean, how many other financial products could be used by two totally different mindsets of people and achieve the same goal? Like it's very interesting.
Mhm.
I mean, there are probably some others that I'm not thinking of, but it's just unique.
It is. That's why we were attracted to it initially. That's why we're still here. It still works.
Yeah. The gambler looks at it and goes, well, that's dry powder for the next gamble when I lose this money. So
yeah.
The conservative person goes, oh, I don't ever have to worry about this.
Right.
Like it's just going to do what it's going to do. And it's got a somewhat predictable outcome.
Now, yes. Now, here's the interesting thing, though. The really, really interesting thing to me. Maybe everyone else will disagree, but I'm gonna play it up like it's a big deal because this is something that afterwards I thought about and thought, okay, that makes sense, but I really never thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, on the risk appetite side of this, the data tells us, nah, we got nothing. It's all over the place. But there is one thing in the risk kind of neighborhood that we did identify as being a super strong predictor of owning cash value life insurance. And it's discipline.
Mm-hmm.
People who have financial discipline. Doesn't mean that you like the latte factor or anything like that. It just means that you have a dedication to some degree to setting aside money consistently.
Right.
Those are people who have a very high likelihood of owning cash value life insurance.
Yep.
And again, that tracks because we have had, I can't tell you how many conversations about the variable nature of what you're paying to whole life insurance and universal life insurance when you buy a policy from us that's designed correctly. Like that's one of the hallmarks that we've always leaned on. We start out with this $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 premium, which sounds like a lot of money. It is. Not trying to downplay it. But lots of people have a very, very, very obvious question, which is, well, what happens if I can't pay the X amount of dollars? And the answer is, if we set it up correctly from the beginning, you just don't pay that much.
Right.
Like we can identify what the sort of comfortable minimum is that you should sort of be okay with hitting each year. But even if you fall below that, we can accommodate that. Like that's all doable when we do it correctly. But like, so we kind of want to operate in between this little minimum and this maximum. And here's what our experience has been for the past, you and I have been working together for 15, 16 years. And even before that, because we were both doing this before we worked together.
Yep.
People put these policies in force. They always ask the question about what happens if I need to change the amount going in. 9.9 out of 10 have continued to pay whatever the initial amount was that we set up into the policies.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you can change it, but very, very, very few people in our experience ever do.
Right. That is true.
So that degree of dedication is noteworthy. And this data says there's something to that when it comes to the people who own cash value life insurance. So that, to me, is an interesting observation because it further highlights the fact that there's not one attribute that says this is who buys it and who doesn't buy it. Like the ones that don't want risk buy it, the ones who do don't. That's not true at all. But it's a collection of a few things that increase the likelihood of ownership. And I think we can't draw conclusions about what causes that just from the data here, because this is purely correlation.
Right.
But what it can help us to identify for individuals who are truly questioning, should I do this? Should I not do this? Is here are the attributes of those who have it. And if you feel like you are matching up with these people, then there's at least a good chance you should consider it.
Right. Right.
And that is, to me, I'm wildly biased because I put this together, the correct way to approach this question.
Right.
Of should I buy it or not?
Mm-hmm.
the old school stuff that's like, well, do you have an estate tax problem? Very few people do.
Right.
Do you have a permanent need for death benefit? What does that even mean?
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that are not helpful. But we can meaningfully make inferences about, well, I mean, do you have a net worth that falls into this sort of category or a higher income? Right. Are you a business owner? Are you a business owner who regularly operates taking on some degree of debt to do what you do?
Are there some things that you need to take care of if you were to die, no matter how old you are at the time? Mm-hmm. Are there things that need to be taken care of?
Yep. How consistently do you save money? Those are the things that really drive you into the category of owning cash value life insurance. Now, notice the things we're not talking about. So risk, we've already hammered that to death. Tax-free savings. Not even on the list of items that drive ownership, according to the research we're looking at.
Yeah, right. Like the life insurance industry thinks that's like number one.
Talks about it nonstop, but that doesn't. I mean, unless it's just an overlooked data point that research has never really entertained. It's simply not there.
Right.
So that kind of shifts the thought process. I'm not saying that people should completely throw that one out. Like, oh, I want some degree of tax-free savings, so never mind.
I think it's a very powerful aspect.
Right. Just saying that it plays a lesser role according to the data.
Yeah. When
it comes to who actually buys it.
That brings up an interesting point. I know we're at the end here, but I think when it comes to taxation of various pots of money, I'm trying to simplify the way I say this. Most people,
the simplest way you ever could have said it.
Most people don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They really don't. I mean, you and I work with people all the time who have lots of money saved in their 401k and they really don't understand that they're going to have to pay taxes on that money.
No.
They really don't. Like they say they do, but they really don't.
That's what I was going to say. They have some sense of there's going to be tax on these, but they have no idea how much it's going to be, and that reality does not come into focus until they actually have to pay it.
Yeah, and all the other things that it affects, and that's a totally separate thing, different episode. We've talked about that stuff before. I'm just saying, there's some things that cash value, there are problems that cash value life insurance addresses that most people don't know how to articulate are actual problems.
Yeah.
And the future taxation of current money that they own is a very misunderstood, in my experience, in dealing with the public. And it doesn't matter the level of sophistication. That is a commonly misunderstood or even just not thought about very much topic.
Yeah. Well, for most people, it's really out of sight, out of mind. And it's especially true for those who are W-2 employees. Right. Because the automatic withholdings kind of keeps them pretty much out of trouble. And for the few incidences where they end up
really
owing,
dug into things.
Yeah. In the few instances where they end up owing something, usually they blame it on HR for making a mistake with their paperwork. But the truth is, it's your responsibility. And even a number of business owners, they rely on other individuals to take care of that problem. So they never really see how the sausage gets made there.
Right.
And it's a bit of an awakening when you retire and now you're going to be a little closer to peeking behind the curtain.
Yep.
When you go to pull $20,000 out of your 401k or your IRA, that's pre-tax money. And all of a sudden you look at the net amount from your brokerage company and you're wondering why it's $15,000 that's going to be sent to you. And then you realize, if you want 20, you're going to have to punch in a number much higher than 20 to actually get.
Yeah.
But then if I do that, I'm going to run out of money faster. Yeah, we know. That's what we've been trying to warn you about.
Yep.
That's That is an issue. But the big thing is the construct that we have in terms of who buys cash value life insurance, according to the data, is not who we have stereotypically identified in the past. Not the industry, at least. We've always had a little different opinion on this based on our own experience, but it is different. And for anybody listening to this, I would take these data points and match them up with your circumstances to arrive at that decision versus the way oversimplified, are you this or are you that, which is fairly unhelpful.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. Sounds good.
So I am Brandon Roberts.
And I am Brantley Whitley.
And we will see you next week.